인사 말씀 있으신지 여쭤볼까요? Would you like to press congratulatory message from the Archbishop Perez?
Thank you so much. You certainly know how to sing well. I have to say, you sound so beautiful. It's a wonderful celebration for the Korean community here in Philadelphia. I have great excitement actually to visit South Korea in 2 years for World Youth Day. So I don't know if you know, since John Paul II, he has gathered the youth of the world every 3 years. And at the end of Mass in Portugal, in Lisboa, Lisbon, the Holy Father announced that the next World Youth Day is going to be in South Korea. And so I hope to learn Korean by then. If there's one thing powerful and beautiful about the Catholic Church, is actually what even the word Catholic means. It's universality. Yes. I just came back from Rome last night. And I was visiting, I was there for work. I wasn't there for play, but I was staying right outside the Vatican. So I was right next to St. Peter's Square. Tens of thousands of people coming in and out, okay, from all over the world. So lots of Koreans there. And they enter into this basilica early one morning around 7:30. I'm walking around the basilica doing my prayers, and you hear in the background the Holy Mass being celebrated in all sorts of different languages. Right? It sounded like a symphony, right, of different languages and different voices. And I always think, I've experienced that many times, that this is what God hears every day. Right? This is what God hears every day. This country is a country of immigrants. Unless you're an American Indian, you came from someplace else. Unfortunately, sometimes immigrants aren't treated all that great here. They're not. Even though everybody is an immigrant, right? Somehow, some way, the longer different peoples are here, they forget where they came from. Isn't that something? And then they treat others the way one day they lamented that they were treated. And they forget. We forget. And people come to this country really in the hopes of a better life for their kids. Each ethnic group, each country, people come here from different countries for different reasons. But always looking for something better. My parents came in 1960 from Cuba. And they wanted to give their kids a better life, running away, escaping from communism. I tell the Pope, I told the Pope the first time I met him in Rome, he asked me, so where do you speak Spanish so well? And I said, well, my parents are from Cuba, we speak in Spanish. And he asked me, so where in Cuba were you born? And I said, well, Holy Father, I actually wasn't born in Cuba. I was made there. But I was unpackaged in Miami. And he reminds me every time I see him. He says, the little Cuban one, made in Cuba. All of us who are here, unless you're an American Indian, came from someplace else. And in many ways, that is the very nature of the church. that we come from all sorts of different places, speak different languages, eat different foods, have our own culture, our own history, our own joys and our own sorrows, each particular to our own historical place where we came from. But what brings us all together at the end is the faith that binds us together. The Second Vatican Council, back in the middle 60s, taught us that actually faith and culture are so interconnected that they cannot be separated. Right? The faith, well, there's only one faith, but it is expressed to the world and expressed through us and lived through us through the particular culture in which the Lord in His grace allowed us to be born into. In my case, it was a Cuban-American culture, kind of a mixture of both. Right? My MC, Monsignor Savitsky, is Polish and Italian. Imagine that. He has kibasi and spaghetti. And each one of us brings that gift to the world and to the church. So never allow anyone or anything to be disrespectful of your culture, of your language, and who you are, because they are a gift from God. To those who are young here, let's say 25 and under, right? Raise your hand. Those who are 25 and under, raise your hand where I can see you. Don't be a liar. So this is to you in particular, to those who are young, and those who think that they're young. Don't lose your culture and don't lose your language.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't do that. Sometimes, as happened with other cultures that have come here, they lose their language, they lose their customs, they lose their roots, and what a shame that is. Because that was a gift given to you. So make sure that you protect the gift of your culture, your language, and your faith. That is expressed through your culture and through your language. I want to thank my brother priests who are here. Some of them came all the way from Korea. Who came from Korea? Some of them actually traveled here for this Mass. They're all from Korea. They're not from Jersey. Thank you for being here. Master, Father, thank you so much for your invitation to celebrate the Eucharist with you and for you today. As we celebrate the Eucharist, when we come to this altar to celebrate the Eucharist, at the end, language doesn't matter. What matters is what we celebrate. Because that same altar is the same altar from when you were born and raised and made your first communion, where your family is back in Korea, where I have distant cousins in Cuba. If there's one thing that happened to the apostles on that Mount of Olives, was that they received the mandate, the mission, to take that faith that Christ had given them, that vision, the kingdom of God, to all the nations. To all the nations. What a task, right? What a task to tell these Hebrew guys that you had to make it to Korea. Imagine. Peter probably said, "Where's Korea? Where's Cuba?" They had to make it there. They didn't even know where Italy was. But they had a mission to bring what God had given to them through Christ to every nation. And because they were faithful over 2,000 years ago, we're actually here today. But this celebration doesn't come just for free. Because you as the Catholic Korean community of the Church of Philadelphia, you also have the mission to continue to give what you have received. to give as a gift what you have received. So congratulations on 50 years. I hope for another 50 and another 50 and another 50. Right? I'm not going to be around, but we'll help you.
We won't be here.
Congratulations and God bless you.